Hi, I'm Don. Today we have an unboxing video of the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. This unboxing video is focused on the miniatures.
Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my studio.
By the way, I am now partnered with Creature Caster, and moving forward we'll have a ton of painting of Creature Caster models. These days, me and my kids, since like a month ago, were really into tabletop games. Although, even when they were younger, I kind of buy them a ton of like Monopoly and all those younger board games. So they have like a human tall boxes of board games at home, and we used to play those. But before the pandemic, we started playing D&D, but I'm not a really good like dungeon master. We enjoy the game, but again, I'm not that good. So we started playing tabletop games just a couple of months ago or last month, and we enjoyed it so much. Me and my kids enjoyed playing tabletop games for the past month, and because of this, for the first time, I backed a Kickstarter game, and I'm very excited to get my hands on that game and those miniatures, because I'll be painting them, all of the miniatures, here in my not my YouTube channel. We've been eyeing these Journeys of Middle-earth because of Suratos and because I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings franchise since I watched the movie and read the books. My eldest daughter Nico is also a huge fan, especially of the new series that we finished watching, The Rings of Power, and we're really into Lord of the Rings these days. We even bought like a couple of books yesterday, and of course we bought this the other day. We played this game 3 times already, and we enjoyed the game so much. The app integration is awesome. Oh, by the way, I'm an affiliate partner with PK Pro, and my top tier patrons get a 5% discount. PK Pro is the biggest web store in Europe, and they have a ton of paints and of course hobby supplies. So if you want to support the channel, please use my affiliate link below. First, we do basing. Of course, I'm using Vallejo texture paints, and I know that some painters would tell you that you should apply the texture paints after the priming. However, it doesn't really matter. Acrylics or true water-based like paints do not adhere to the surface of models in general. Imagine acrylics as like a plastic wrap around the model, and it cures to a nice hard and rubbery finish. So it doesn't really adhere to the surfaces, it just hardens into a nice jacket all over the model. Thus, scratching the surface or like cleaning it up a bit and also scratching the basing before you apply the texture paints and the paints and primers will give you a better adhesion of the paints. Also, thus, it doesn't really matter if you prime and base or base and prime, because the primer will like give you a nice jacket all over the model, and all of the paints, even the texture paints, will like be dependent on the primer for adhesion. So in our case here, the texture paint will be enclosed, if that is the right word, by the primer and the succeeding paints. Now back to the models. The models look good. They don't have really deep and very sharp details like resin miniatures, but they are detailed enough to be so fun to paint later. Not having really deep crevices means that the lazy wash style of like just applying a lot of washes on the model won't really be as effective in comparison to doing that style in miniatures that have so many deep details and crevices. Key to painting miniatures like this is to leave like dark crevices, no, not crevices, dark outline, or some people call it black outlining or recess painting, because you need to have that definition in between the elements of the model. For example, you're painting this with opaque base colors. It's nice to leave really dark like outline or black outline in between the cloak and the other parts of the model, or in between the boots and the pants, in between the hands and the swords and stuff like that. That very thin outline will give more definition to your model. Or you could do recess painting, in which you use inks or whatever paint you want to use and paint along those definition in between the elements of the model. But that will be a bit more time consuming, so painting the base colors with definition in mind, meaning you're leaving black outline in between the elements, is a faster way to paint these models. However, we'll do the painting in different batches in my future video, so we'll paint these models differently every time. I'm really excited to paint these models because we've played the game 3 times already, and I'm imagining they will look really good on the table. My fab model amongst the enemies would be the goblin here. It has so much character because of the pose, and of course the wraith. That would be so much to paint because, or so fun to paint because it's a wraith. It has a skull face and the black cloth. Gimli, initially I thought the pose is awkward, but at close inspection it's almost as good as Aragorn. But Aragorn is the best sculpt here. However, Bilbo is my character and I'll paint him in a better like painting level. And of course the troll will be so awesome to paint. Now we prime. I'm priming with Vallejo Mecha Black Primer as usual. I'm applying blue tack and putting it on rulers, steel rulers. Don't worry because the rulers are easy to clean because the primer won't really adhere to the rulers. Even if you let it cure for a while and you're lazy to clean it up after the painting because it's metal. So it's easy to scrub it off since we're not painting all of the surface of the ruler, and we won't create a jacket of acrylics all over the ruler. When priming, I apply a couple of thin coats of Mecha Black Primer, but sometimes the second or third coat will be with the Mecha Pure Black. The Airbrush Ready Mecha Pure Black is easier to airbrush than the black primer, and it gives me really good coverage after a couple of thin coats of the Mecha Black Primer. So I decided not to do the usual black and white sketching or underpainting, and we're using Gory Red Game Air, which is Airbrush Ready 2. So I thinned this with my thinning sauce around 3 parts Gory Red and 1 part thinning sauce. For a generic zenithal look, I paint the Gory Red around the sides of the model and of course from the top. And now the wraith, I did the same painting but with Phantom Gray. Now we use Mecha Brown, but we're painting Mecha Brown mostly from the top to give us a bit of zenithal look, a zenithal effect where we have a source of light. And you can see here that the Gory Red is still showing through, and of course the black crevices are still black. Now these models are ready for painting. Before I show you the models, I would like to thank all my patrons. They practically saved this channel. Also, special thanks to my gold level patrons and of course my highest tier patrons, my adamantium patrons. Now let's look at the models with a quick airbrush sketching. First, the goblins. This is my fave of the enemy models. You get 6 of this and this will be so awesome to paint. It is full of character and the model is beautiful. Next is the Orc Marauder. Well, it's beautiful too. It has fur at the back and it wields 2 axes, which is so awesome to paint. Then we have the Warg, same with the Orc Marauder earlier. You get 3 of these models. This will be like really cool to paint, but this will take a lot of highlights to make it look really good. And now the Orc Warriors, you get 3 of these models and they're basically Orc bowmen and they should also be fun to paint, a lot of armor parts and lesser skin. And now the Ruffians, you get 6 of this model, same number with the Goblins, and they should be also fun to paint, but these are humans. And the Wraith, you get 3 of these models. I think I'm painting this today because it's November 1 tomorrow and this will be the perfect models for the Halloween. And now the huge troll. As you can see, our really quick airbrush sketching really showed the details of this model, and this will be crazy fun to paint since it's huge. It's not hard on my old eyes. So you get 25 models of the enemies, and now I'll show you the heroes. Now we have Beravor. Beravor is a human and this is the character of my younger daughter Sam, and she hates that she's using a staff and not a magical staff. Elena is the character of my eldest daughter Nico, which the Gunpla painter, the Gunpla modeler, and she loves this character. Now we have Legolas. We haven't played with Legolas yet, the character, but his sculpt is standard. I mean the usual Legolas sculpt, and he should be fun to paint too. Gimli, we haven't played with Gimli yet too, and at first glance his stance is a bit awkward, but after painting or after priming and doing the sketching, I kinda love his sculpt and his pose. It's awesome. Now we have Aragorn. I think personally Aragorn is the hero with the best sculpt, or I just like Aragorn. Aragorn is my son Basti's character. Basti is my youngest. And last but not the least, this is Bilbo Baggins. This is my character and I really love how he plays. I'm painting Bilbo extra special because, well, he's my character. That's it. You get 31 awesome miniatures from this Lord of the Rings Journeys of Middle-earth game. So, it's now time to play our 4th game. I'll paint these models in batches, but for now, that's it, Pansit.
That's it, we're done. I hope you liked the video. Do like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining the channel so that you'll be part of our Discord community. Saludos!